first, let's listen to President Trump.
But there are certain areas, as you know, where they're really wanting us to build a wall. And because the people are complaining, people are pouring in. So, you know, they don't talk about that. Well, I do have a preference. The problem is you have to have see-through. You have to know what's on the other side of the wall. And, I mean, a preference is something like that. The problem is you don't know what's on the other side of the wall. And if you don't know what's on, I mean, you could be 2 feet away from a criminal cartel and you don't even know they're there. Now, we have equipment to take care of that, X-ray equipment, etc. But if you're on that side of the wall, that's the hardest wall to scale. It's got a lot of assets. The problem is, tell them, what do you think about the importance of see-through?
When I have a see-through wall, sir, I know what's approaching the border before it approaches. We have great partners in Mexico with the law enforcement on that side. I can call them for assistance. I don't get the opportunity to get ahead of a threat if I can't see it approaching.
And what's the danger of not having the see-through?
When the steel metal fence behind us, we learned from that, and back in the 90s, we went in and actually cut in ports where we could see on the south side. We found that smugglers were using the fence to hide behind, and they were either rocking our agents or they would acquire large groups of people or narcotics, and then they would just rush across the border quickly.
Now, if you just have a pure fence, now that's a fence, a very sturdy fence, but coming up, the first thing I noticed, look how many holes are in that fence. Now, they fix the holes, but it doesn't look very good. They just patch it with more fence. But you take a look at the fence, and it's a very powerful fence, not doing the trick, because they cut holes in it, and then they're patching holes all the time. I'm just looking, you have hundreds of holes cut in and patched. So the fence is not strong enough. It's not the right idea. But for those people, if you don't have a wall system, we're not gonna have a country. There's a lot of problems in Mexico. They have a lot of problems over there. And they have the cartels. And the cartels, we're fighting the cartels. So we're fighting them hard. Nobody ever fought them like we fought them. I mean, we fight them hard. But the fact is, if you don't have a wall system, it would be bedlam, I imagine.
It's very hard to control with just personnel, sir. It's a combination of all the above.
So we're looking at the walls where you have really some see-through capability. If you don't have some see-through, it's a problem. So we'll take a look up here.
President Trump, with his first critique of what he sees along the border with Mexico, says he really doesn't like those solid walls, thinking they have to see what's on the other side of the wall. And you heard from that Border Patrol agent saying that they like to see any threat that's approaching. So again, the president getting his first up-close look at those 8 border wall prototypes, and we'll continue to cover what's going on there in San Diego before the president heads here to L.A.